channel and welcome back to Photographing Washington State Parks. This week we are at Bridgeport State Park. It's a wonderful little park in eastern Washington that often gets overlooked. It is on a river and a lake, a dammed river, so there's a lake here. So that you do get fishermen and you do get boaters, but other people just kind of overlook it. There's not a lot of hiking trails here. There is a hiking trail that goes along to view the Chief Joseph Dam, which I've always wondered if he would approve of that moniker. But anyways, the really cool thing about this park and why I like coming back here is because of these rocks. These rocks are huge boulders, are volcanic boulders that were deposited here during the cataclysmic falls, the Missoula cataclysmic floods, or the Missoula floods. These were rafted down in hunks of ice. And then as the river receded, as the flood started receding, it deposited these rocks and these chunks of ice, and they melted. And in this landscape, not only here in this park, but in other parts around this park, you see these huge boulders just sitting out in the middle of these fields. Yeah, if you come to this area and you see these boulders sitting out here, they are from the Missoula floods, and not just from the ice sheets, but they came down rafting on ice and were deposited in this landscape, and it's really kind of cool. And I like photographing them. As you can see, they're filled with lichens and cracks. Later we'll go back out into the rest of the park and see some of the rocks there that might have some really cool vegetation around them. They might not, but anyways, they are such cool. Just seeing them, not even just photographing them, but seeing them out in the fields is just something to come take a look. And that's what you can do at Bridgeport State Park. So let's go ahead and explore the park and get some photos. Just having a chat with the ranger, and he said the area that I was going to head to for some of the erratics was flooded and it might be inaccessible. He was going to go check on it for me and then report back later. We might be heading there in the morning. So right now I'm walking on the paved accessible trail. He said there are some flowers by the ranger's office that might be phlox, so we might go ahead and check those out. But I just took some photos of a couple of marmots on top of one of the erratics. And I'm just kind of looking around. I mean, there's a lot of erratics here. And it's just kind of cool. So are some of the trees. They're just beginning to leaf out, so they're nice and softly green. And it's just a really nice day over here in eastern Washington. We've got some clouds with a little bit of sun breaks. My neighbors in the campground were playing cornhole and laughing and just enjoying what the state parks are all about. Camaraderie, connections between nature, connections between us and nature, and connections between each other. So let's keep walking along on the accessible trail, at least for a little while, at least get up to the office and see what the flowers are, and hopefully we can access the other area tomorrow morning. What a way to wake up this morning. My alarm clock consisted of robins and pigeons, or doves. And we've got geese out on the lake. There's also another water bird out there I wasn't quite able to identify. It's just so pretty. Most of the clouds have lifted. We've got some behind me where the sun is trying to rise through, which has really pretty orange color and kind of casting a nice light over the landscape. And thinking I need to go back to camp and put on my shoes because I'm out here in my Crocs and actually walk around and get some photos. What do you say? Came to the part of the park that I was hoping I would be able to explore. I've never actually explored this part of the park. And Ranger warned me that it might be a little bit too flooded to hike. And I see where the trail starts, and it's across this puddle. I think I could access the puddle from the other road, or access the trail from the other road. See the trail over there. But yeah, getting across it here is not very feasible. But there's a really great rock. See behind me? Right there. It has some great color and cracks in it. So I'm going to go check that out. And the birds are still just twittering away. I am honestly amazed about how many birds are here right now. I mean, just wow. I'm watching swallows just float and do their acrobatics in the sky, and I startled a kingfisher. Oh, not a kingfisher. What is that stupid thing? I can't remember now. That one right there. Killdeer. That's what it is. It's a killdeer. Kingfisher. Yeah, right. So, yeah, there's a lot of swallow nests in this rock that I was talking about. Wow, I think I may have to go back and get my other battery. This might take a while. Pretty darn cool up here. Came up the trail and took a little side jaunt and got some views. But just the morning sun on the sage is just so enriching to the air. What a wonderful scent that is. Oh, amazing. You're still watching the birds. It's sat there and listened to, a house wren, Eurasian doves, house finch, robins, sparrows. It's just so many birds just a few minutes ago. It's just wow. And again, I mean, there's just so much to see and do here, even though it's a small little park and not a lot of people come here for the scenery or the photography, but there's so much to photograph here. I mean, just look at this view behind me. It's just so pretty. I mean, it's not the Rockies by any stretch of the imagination, but if everything looked like the Rockies, that'd all be boring, wouldn't it? So I really do encourage you to come to your smaller parks, ones that don't draw the photographers, and see what there really is to offer. Just explore. I mean, this poor trail that I'm on hasn't seen a lot of foot on them. A lot of deer, but not a lot. I don't think a lot of humans, and which is sad because this is so pretty back here. Really what it's all about. Being out in nature. Yes, I have. There's some agriculture going on across the river. But we need agriculture. I mean, we got to eat some way, right? So I don't mind that. I'm listening to the birds. I'm enjoying the sun. I'm enjoying the scent of the sage being warmed by the sunlight. I'm enjoying being out in nature. This trail's like a quarter mile long. It's not long at all. Just climbs to the top of the hill to a bench, and there's an apple orchard just off to the east here, and you can see the orchard across the river. You can see the park. You can see the erratics. I'm just going to sit here for a while. Enjoy my time before I head back down the hill. Well, that was nice, lovely, perfect. Heading back down to camp. Gonna take down my tent, pack it up, head home. Might stop here and there, I don't know. Depends on which way I decide to go home. If I go back the way I came, there's a lot of really nice erratics left in the fields there. Or I may take a more straightforward route along the Columbia River. And what a wonderful weekend. It really was. I got to spend yesterday up at the Horse Lake Reserve in Wenatchee, and it's wildflower season there. And then come here, and we've got some wildflowers and others are just coming out. Just absolutely wonderful. Got to sleep in my tent. Second time I've slept in that tent. And bought a really cheap sleeping bag at Cabela's. And it works pretty nicely. I was quite surprised. And I don't know if I'm going to continue using it for backpacking, but it's like the perfect car camping tent and sleeping bag. And so I was really happy with it. Stayed nice and warm and toasty last night. And for a sleeping bag for less than $100, guess what? It worked perfect. I was amazed. I'm sitting here looking at some rabbit bush here, and I think I need to get a photo of this. This is really pretty. but I will always put down in the description how you can find out more about the park. I will also add a few little hints and tidbits if there are any applicable. And yeah, just look forward. I'll also be creating little booklets, about 20 pages or so of each park. Some parks are a little bit more because they're huge, but all the opportunities, all the photographic and recreation, especially photographic opportunities you have in those parks, even the parks where people don't think there's any photos. So look forward to those, and make sure you like and subscribe so you will be updated on more of these photographing Washington State Parks, plus any of the other adventures I go on with my camera. And until the next time.